Hi, I'm Meinu Vaid, and today I have come up with another book review. This one is a Japanese bestseller. Normally, I avoid reviewing and reading books which are translations. Ismat Chuktai has been an exception in the past, and since there was so much of hype around this book, I thought let me find out for myself what the hype was all about. So here it is. It is Before the Coffee Gets Cold, Tales from the Cafe. It is by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. And I was very excited to read about this book, and I came to know that it is all about time travel, but it's not a science fiction. So there are no technicalities related to time travel. Rather, it's more about philosophy. Although it's fictional, but it makes you think a lot about life in general. So the story goes like this that there is this quaint cafe in Japan wherein people can travel in time, not only in the past but also in future. There are four stories in all in this book, but only one person out of those four chooses to travel in the future. And it can be attributed to lots of rules and regulations that are attached. Those are the conditions basically if you want to travel back or in future in time. One of them being that the person should have visited the cafe at some point of time, only then you can hope to meet them. And in future, fixing an appointment with that person and ensuring that that person will definitely be there in those few moments that you're around is very tricky. So the reason was quite understandable. Another big issue is that you have to get back from wherever you are before the coffee gets cold. However, there's an interesting observation in the book like, when do you say your coffee is cold? When it's lukewarm, when it's at room temperature, or what? Because there are all kinds of coffee drinkers, isn't it? And then the book starts with a very interesting question, which makes you think, if you could go back in time, who would you like to meet? And normally we would like to go back in time just to rectify things because we are carrying some kind of remorse, guilt, regret regarding something that has happened, and we would like to rectify it. But guess what? One of the rules is that you can't change the future. So then why people would choose to still go back in time? What for? That is what makes the reading so interesting. So on the surface, it seems to be the story of four people primarily who choose to be time travelers, if I may say so. One of them travels into the future for their own agendas. What agendas these are, you can figure out after reading it. I don't want to spoil the fun by laying it all out there. But then, what happens if you do not get back before the coffee gets cold? There are repercussions to it, and some serious ones at that. So that also is very interesting to read about. And somebody in the story suffers one of those repercussions. And out of all the four stories, I found the one that took a person into the future the most intriguing. Why? Because, like I said, meeting that person was very tricky in the first place. Then the condition was you couldn't change the future. But then if you are meeting somebody in future, then what's happening to your past? Will that alter your past? Is that allowed? Nobody has answers to those questions. The ending is simple, sober, nothing out of the ordinary, yet very touching and poignant. In the end, the highlight is that life goes on. And when I see all these characters, trying to meet somebody in the past or in the future, what I realized is that half the time, we are constantly going back and forth in our mind. So either we are living in our past or our future, and in the process, we tend to waste away so many precious moments in our present. That is exactly what happens with most of the people. So even though they know that they cannot change the future, they choose to go back in time to do something or the other, or to say something important to their loved ones. So that makes me take away an important lesson from there, to be more mindful in the present. Don't let these moments just pass by in life. Cherish them. And especially cherish the people who are there with you in the present, because they might not be around forever. And that is something that should always be kept in mind. Only then we might be able to lead a meaningful life. So that is my takeaway from the book. The story is very simple, easy to read, and you can finish it in like 2 hours flat max, even though you are paying attention and reading it slowly. One tricky thing that I faced a lot of problem is with the names in the book. As it is, they were very difficult for me, and then most of the names somehow begin with K. So I had to, keep going back and forth in my mind to remember who was who. So other than that, it's a beautiful book. It makes you dwell on your life, how we live our lives, and how we can make our lives better. I have written the review as a blog post also on my blog, so I'll leave a link in the description in case you are interested in reading that kind of thing. It has more details than what I'm giving out here, so you might find it interesting, so do check it out. If you happen to read the book, please share in the comment section about what your thoughts are on the book, and we can exchange some notes. Till then, take care.